Hello, my fellow readers, and welcome back to another book review. Technically, comic review. But this one I actually didn't even know existed until I found it, and I instantly picked it up and started reading it because I have a bit of a history with the Mega Man franchise. I grew up playing the original Mega Man, but what really made me really into the Mega Man franchise as a whole was definitely Mega Man X. Like, I love Mega Man X. I loved his characteristics. I loved everything the game had to do. I loved the wall jumping abilities and all that. So when I saw that they had made a Mega Man X comic book series, pick it up. You know? I had to pick it up. And to say that I am in love with it is an understatement. I love the series. I can't wait to collect the rest and read the rest, especially since um X has always been one of my favorite Mega Man protagonists out of all the series. I just like the main theme of him being too like his whole thing is that he's the first ever person who like robot that is as human, like is a basically a human but with a robot body, and his entire identity as Reploids are created in his image is that he himself struggles with everything that starts to begin to happen and all this downfall, and he kind of starts self-blaming and gets really upset because he is, the best way to describe him is he's a giant worrywart in all the right ways. Like, he is constantly worried about the state of the relationship between Reploids and humans. He's constantly feeling like he's in between because he is supposed to be the first of that kind of like robot. Like, he is the basis of all this, and the guy that found him in his capsule didn't even really understand everything that was going on with X when he was found. So, like, the technology was so advanced that even in the future, when he was found, they still didn't understand it. Um, and so when there starts to go Maverick and all that, he is just a very, like, he kind of self blames a lot and is like, why is this happening? So, to say the least, the comic focuses mainly on just basically game to comic translation, I would say. It does a really good job of it too, because it literally opens up with X having like memories of Light explaining his potential and how he has the unlimited potential to be everything, and then it's switching over to the other doctor. Anyway, it then goes into him instantly, like, there's a signal, a siren and all that, that there's mavericks on this. Mavericks are basically Reploids that have gone kind of like quote unquote insane and have started to hate humans and destroy them. And one of the big ones in the first Mega Man X is this guy named Vile, which I really like that they note upon his name before, because this is, it's not usually, you know, Vile's name because that's how they only refer to him in the games until, like, I think it was one of the remakes or something like that that like bunched all the games together with extra content where you learn that his original name was Vava. I don't think I'm pronouncing that right. Point is, he changed his name when he went Maverick, and so everyone started referring to him as Vile because he wanted to be called Vile. And this is actually a really nice touch, is that when X in the comic sees Vile, he's like, he calls him by his name before, and Vile's like, no, 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 I'm not that. That's not what I go by anymore. And X goes, Right. Sorry. Vile, why did you go Maverick? Like, the instant respect and understanding of that was really nice. Because it's like, yeah, I get it. I mean, I don't get why you're going Maverick. Like, X doesn't care. He's more worried about why are you going Maverick? I don't care if you change your name. You can change your name all you want. I'm just more concerned with that, with the other thing. And Vile explains that it was like, because the main thing I know about the virus is that it makes the Sigma virus. Yes, laugh it up. I still laugh over it because it's because of the math symbol or something like that. Like it's based off the math, but with the recent, like with more recent years and stuff, the whole Sigma joke makes it so funny because they call it the Sigma virus, and the main villain is called Sigma. And I'm just like, yeah, yeah, I know, the joke. It's just, it's technically, it's referring to the math. I know it's silly, but it's referring to the math symbol. Anyway, so they don't know about it at that point, but yeah, so they're going Maverick, and X is more concerned with, like, hey, you're kind of going crazy. You shouldn't go. Like, humans aren't bad, actually. And going Maverick is not solving anything. And Vile's like, actually, it's gonna solve everything. Because we're gonna just kill all the humans, and then the world will be for robots. Um, Another thing is that I found it really funny is like the only thing, don't get me wrong, I think X can aura farm. Like I honest to goodness think X can look cool. It's just more of like it's a surprise because I'm so used to him being the worry wart and like very like he's very how he presents himself is a lot more, I guess you could say, softer compared to a lot of the other characters that appear in the series because he's outwardly not as outwardly aggressive as all the others, because compared to like Sigma and even his best friend Zero, he doesn't like fighting. He can fight, he just doesn't like it. He actually hates it and is only doing it because that's the only option he has left at this point, which makes me think about like how it's really funny in one of the comic panels when he's on top of one of the cars and it's driving forward and he's like standing there with his arms crossed, posed all cool, and I'm like, this is really funny because I know X can look cool. It's just I'm so used to seeing his more insecure side and his more I don't want to fight and I don't want to do all this aggressive stuff, to really focus on like having him do that kind of stuff is, it's refreshing, but also it's really funny because again, I think of him as a more softer protagonist. Like I think of him as like you're stuck in his head and what he thinks a lot in the games when we do get text, and it's always presented X as being this like big softy because even the other villains are like, you're really weak, and like they don't even think he's powerful because he's his last resort usually is violence. um Another funny part though to me in this first comic is when Zero shows up. Now, the thing is that again, the reason why I fell in love with the Mega Man X series was because of X. Like X is my favorite out of the Mega Man X series. I know Zero's very popular and I get it. I love his long hair too. And he's also a very compelling character the further you get into the video games as well. But it's so funny that because in the comics he only comes in to stop Vile from destroying X aura farms after destroying that and then dipping. And it's so funny because I'm like, I forgot how much this guy likes to show up, look cool, and then leave. Like, he comes in, talks, defeats an enemy, talks to X about you'll get stronger, and then leaves. And he uses a sword, which also makes him really cool. Like, it's giving Meta Knight from Kirby, because Meta Knight also has a similar thing going on. This ant, because Zero can also come off as an anti-hero, especially with the further you get into the series. Point is, Zero's really cool and funny at the same time because he does come in, save X's butt, and then leaves and is like, "Yeah, don't worry about it. I got this. You just handle this other thing for me." And that's where the issue ends. Of course, there's other things like the uh, uh the early showing of the Reploid people in the headquarters that give the directions and stuff, which is nice to see them early on because they don't really appear, I think, in game until like much later. And it's like they were there to begin with, technically. But most of it is, this comic Zero is mostly about the starting level in the first game and the setup for the rest of the series, and I really enjoy it, and I hope that it will continue throughout all of the games, like go over all of the games, because that is my ultimate hope, is that they do that, because I love X as a character and his inner struggles with how to go about being a good person while still doing violent things, and vice versa. Anyway, great comic. I recommend it. I love Megaman X, and I think that's all I have to say, honestly. Bye bye.